think so.
What letter is this?
Q.
Q. This is indeed a Q.
Froggy.
Wonderful guest, would you please stand and recognize the President of the United States?
Good morning. How are you? I'd also like to meet the Secretary of Education and the Lieutenant Governor of Florida. We met, didn't we? Good to meet you. Hi.
And this is Mrs. Daniels.
Hi, Ms. Daniels. How are you? Great to meet everybody.
Eric,
Yeah,
what are you doing? Eric?
yes, park, get ready.
Ball.
Yes, ball, get ready.
Sound.
Yes, sound, good job. Boys and girls, you're going to say one of these words with an A sound when you read it. Are you going to say the A sound when you read this word?
No.
No. Read this word the fast way. Get ready.
At.
Yes, at. Read this word the fast way. Get ready.
A.
Yes, eight. Get ready to read all the words on this page without making a mistake. Read this word the fast way. Get ready.
Mad.
Yes, mad. Get ready.
Cat.
Yes, cat. Get ready.
Can.
Yes, can. Get ready.
Can.
Yes, can. Get ready to read these words the fast way. Get ready.
Made.
Yes, made. Get ready.
Cake.
Yes, cake. Get ready.
Cane.
Yes, cane. Get ready.
Cane.
Yes, pain. Boys and girls, you're going to read these words again. Remember what you say when there's an E at the end of the word. Get ready.
Cane.
Yes, cane. Get ready.
Can.
Yes, can. Get ready.
Made.
Yes, made. Give yourselves a pat on the back.
Yeah.
Okay, get ready to read the words on this page without making a mistake. Everybody, tell me what this part of the word says.
Rob.
Yes, rob. Now tell me what the whole word says. Get ready.
Robber.
Yes, robber. Everybody tell me what this part of the word says.
Run.
Yes, run. Now tell me what the whole word says. Get ready.
Running.
Yes, running. Get ready to read these two words the fast way. Get ready.
Robber.
Yes, robber. Get ready.
Running.
Yes, running. Good job. Boys and girls, read this word the fast way. Get ready.
Smile.
Yes, smile. Sound it out. Get ready.
Smile.
What word?
Smile.
Yes, smile. Read these words the fast way. Get ready.
Smile.
Yes, smile. Get ready.
More.
Yes, more. Get ready.
Light.
Yes, light. Get ready.
Light.
Yes, light. Get ready.
Nose.
Yes, those. Get ready.
Here.
Yes, here. Jamie. Leonard. Chantel. Let's see. Natalia. Get ready to read all these words on this page without making a mistake. Look at the letter at the end and remember the sound it makes. Get ready.
Kite.
Yes, kite. Get ready to read this word the fast way. Get ready.
King.
Yes, sound it out. Get ready.
King.
Sound it out. Get ready.
King.
What word?
Kit.
Yes, kit. Boys and girls, sound this word out. Get ready.
Seal.
What word?
Seal.
Yes, steel. Read these words the fast way. Get ready.
Plane.
Yes, plane. Get ready.
Must.
Yes, must. Let's read these words the fast way without making a mistake. Get ready.
Kite.
Yes, kite. Get ready.
Kit.
Yes, kit. Get ready.
Seal.
Yes, steel. Get ready.
Plane.
Yes, plane. Get ready.
Must.
Yes, must. Boys and girls, pick your reader up from under your seat. Open your book up to lesson.
All right, folks. Welcome to the Patriot Hour for 9/3/2018. Little intro there. Something we found years ago. Because we're going to be getting into some of this symbology, some of this ancient hope. We got Ben with us. We were trying to get into it on the last one, and then again we got some more QAnon updates, breadcrumbs, drops. So we're going to read that. I think this is one, might be two. Then we're going to jump into this a little bit, so please stick with us. Again, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like, share, comment. Take a look in the description box. Take a look in the comment section. Other than just commenting, it's a great place to kind of get pointed in a lot of directions. So we got Ben with us. How you doing again, Ben?
Doing well. Excited to get into this segment as well.
All right, yeah, we got some interesting on the Bush video, something that we found, well, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, but we'll get into that here in a minute. let's take a quick look into the queue. I'm going to just quickly do an update. All right, last queue update we just went over in the previous video, so check that out. All right, so 2069 was the last one. Here we are at 2070. This came at 1929, which is 7:29 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's just basically a JPEG picture of a previous post from Q on May 17th, 2018. That came at 13:13, 1:13 p.m. What is a common theme when bad news is about to break? Against them, in parentheses, question mark. Stay vigilant. So we know the common theme is disinformation, lies, something else big, whatever the next thing they had on Trump, the porn star stuff, his taxes, racism, bigotry, whatever they have on the shelf is probably getting ready to be dropped. I don't know if they have some other conversation, some kind of other lie, but
well,
let's
you're
look
going
for
to
that
see
tomorrow.
the spin start to happen. Yes, a whole bunch are going to spin anything they can, any way they can, and as fast as they can. I believe that that's what's exactly going to happen when it comes to the media, because this is what they do when damage comes out as damage control. They're going to be doing damage control, spin this, do this, divert that, don't say these keywords. It's almost like I'm kind of looking forward for somebody to be putting together another news maybe
Monologue.
flick of all the monologue of all the news, spinning everything the same way, because the orders have come down from the darkness, if you will.
Yeah,
Those that
or a collage of
yes, exactly.
No, I agree. So that's what we're going to stay tuned for. Whatever pops off is something that they've had for the last month. Guising, waiting. Well, that's for the next big thing they drop. We'll drop this. We see it every time. It takes attention, keeps their agenda flowing with the people that they have on that little, end of the fishing reel there. They can divert them any way they want to keep the truth just from missing them straight, dead center every time. All right, so let's move on to this video here we'll talk about for briefly a second here. I'll leave the link down below for everyone that wants to watch it in full. It's about 11 minutes. But what did we hear there, Ben? I was hearing, steal, plane, run, running, hit, must. I mean, that's pretty creepy there.
No, and you're right. This particular video, when that was put up, this individual, whatever channel put this up, major props to him. Gotta love that. That was a lot of truth right there. That was put on a timestamp, so what you were seeing in the news in the lower left-hand corner was happening at the exact same time he was in the
that's what really turned me on to this years ago.
Yes,
was when I
because that the timestamp, like again, being the fact that we're getting on cue, future proofs past, timestamps, we're getting into that kind of stuff. When they were talking exactly what you said, steal, plane, run, must. You see all of the people there, the president, and I don't know who all was involved. I don't know if it was his, not the VP, but it was somebody in his cabinet was with him there in the classroom, and these people, they're being briefed every second of the day of what's happening, what's surprised, and so they know exactly that there's planes hitting the building as this is happening.
If you remember, at one point, the guy comes up, and tells him in his ear, and that was a big news article back then, that he sat there in the classroom and did nothing. Like you think most presidents would be like, I'm sorry you guys keep doing your story time. I got to go take care, but he sat there for another 4 minutes or something. Or whatever
that was his cover story was, he wanted to remain calm and be vigilant and strong for the American people. Like, that's a good talking point to throw out there, so the news could choose on that.
Even beside, if this lining up quite a bit, the plane hits and then these certain words are chanted by children, the way it sounds, even if that all didn't line up and they still just had him in this classroom at roughly the same time as stuff's happening and they're doing this, that's crazy enough. But the fact that it does kind of, line up, that coincidental, again, these words, I mean, it's just astronomical.
Well, it gets into what we're going to be talking to tonight, where there's an exoteric, which is the outer meaning of something, and then there's the esoteric, which is the inner meaning of something. And so as this, which, I believe personally that 9/11 was a very much so an occultic mass ritual done in the guise of a false flag. But when these words are being chanted loud by small children, and it was on news, you heard all the clicks of the camera, click 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 click. There was news there. It was broadcasting to a lot of people, and those chanting those words as that was happening. It was just a lot of energy was going around there.
You're right. And that's a lot of these things that they do could be done in the cloak of darkness, or a lot of them are done on purpose in the eyes of everybody because that's more pleasurable. The mockery, if it's something they need to do, blood moons are lining up. It's really, that's the whole thing is, and this can throw people off from watching or understanding the truth. It did me very early on in my research. I tell people it always would get to these doors of where it would turn into Satan ritual stuff. And I'm like, why does this all? And I'd stop. Not that I didn't believe it. I just didn't want to go down that path yet. So I'd start researching other areas. Well, I end up only getting 80% done in a lot of categories because it always led to these doors of, whether you believe it or not, folks, they do. And they are doing these rituals, and they very much believe in, the Bible. They just happen to be, working for the dark force, channeling, talking, being directed, guided by this entity. So whether or not you believe it, they do. And another really big angle is to get the masses not to believe in, the correct side, which would be, the story in the Bibles. So however you feel on that, I think maybe Ben can articulate a little better on that, but they've done a good job at getting everyone else to kind of sin automatically, being born into it, not even realizing it. That way you're just patterned to kind of already walk this, sinful life. That's their goal. They corrupt everything that's good, make it bad, especially symbols. We know that. So with this ancient hope, been around forever. We've had all the rulers in the history books kind of do these same things. Wouldn't we say so, Ben? Especially like you look into the, Egyptians, or probably back with, the Mayans, Sumerians. I mean,
Well, when we talk about the actual phrase, the ancient hope, or the eternal hope, or the hidden secret, or the mystery religion, or these kind of things, in my personal opinion, if I could break the actual word, the ancient hope, it's really three things. Number one, you have infinite wisdom. Number two, you have immortality. And the third one is you'll become a god. Now, where does this theme come from? In my humble opinion, and all glory be to God, that it comes from the Bible, from the Old Testament, actually in the Torah, in the book of, in the Genesis, where it talks about the devil coming in and deceiving Eve. And what did he tell her? He says, if you eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, you shall not surely die. You shall become wise, and you shall live forever, and you shall be as gods. And that was the original lie, if you will, that has been propagated through eons until now. You look at transhumanism, you look at this living forever, transfer of consciousness. It also
All
says
with
in the
the
Bible,
aid of technology, basically.
yes,
That's the promise given in mostly all of these secret societies that people can join
Yep.
at the lower levels. And as you get higher up, you'll hear that you're going to become godlike with the aid of technology. That's the promise given. And also they misconstrue like what the Bible says in the Garden of Eden. That is the twist. It's that, Lucifer, through his agent of Satan, set man free with the gift of intellect. And you were being held prisoner in the garden by an unjust God, so we do know that. So to the illuminated, I'm reading a little article here, the elite and a handful of historians and scholars, the inaugural addresses by the president were important additions in the larger series of carefully crafted speeches in which line-by-line analysis of his public references uncovered what appeared to be coded language designed to convey shrouded messages, regularly, so only certain people would know. We get that. So whether or not Bush, like the video that I trailered 2-3 videos ago tonight, showed Bush, like father, like son, both of them. I did that on purpose. Showed Bush Jr., Bush Sr. And even if they don't, and what we've said before, there's crafty writers for the White House, for a lot of these presidents. They write this, if it's not the president involved, probably with these couple of characters, they are more happy and are all going along. But it's coded messaging for those who know to hear, and it makes them feel real powerful to be able to get that pulled off on like live TV in front of the masses, right? We know that the symbols are everywhere, right in plain sight. If you don't know it, you don't notice, you're not going to see it. You do enough research.
And I'll even expand on that. The ancient hope, there's more than one way that they believe currently that you can actually achieve the ancient hope. One is through technology. The other one is through child sacrifice and ingesting the child's blood for youth and for rejuvenation. So there's many, like you were saying, there's many different organizations, and they all have their own ways of getting into becoming a god. And let's face it, we can go even deeper. There are some religions that teach that you can become, through your self-sacrifice, your own god. And what the pivotal difference is me personally, and and I would say I would probably, you would agree that we're not our own Messiah. Yeshua or Jesus Christ, he died, he was the Messiah, he was the unblemished sacrifice for all of mankind's sin. And so the ancient hope basically teaches those three fundamental lies that like you were saying, that Lucifer told to Eve. And so you have that in New Age theology, in paganism, that's blended with how many versions of Christianity there are there in 2018, like 35,000 different versions and variations that are all based on, these texts. And of course, and what we're talking about tonight is many, many years and multiple rabbit holes. And of course, in theology study that both Mike and I have done, and it's kind of hard to smash it all in like an hour show.
In a nutshell type thing. But.
In a nutshell. But if you just get those three fundamental ideas of what the ancient hope, or the mystery Babylon, or the ancient religion, or and it comes
the New Age, a lot of the New Ages, they all have a little different spin, but it's real interesting. That they got the masses kind of running around on that little thing, trying to figure it out, and a lot of them, to get into these, they don't believe in a god. They get into the UFO stuff, and then from there they get advanced, and they kind of, next thing you know, they're in the spiritual New Age, and they believe in God again, but it's themselves, and that they're going to progress to that. So with all that being said, they've done a real good job on that. Now you look at these elitist 1%ers, the ones that are part of this, they don't even kind of believe in a lot of that stuff they created. Of course they don't. They do these, and a lot of people, like you said, we've talked to, it's, oh, that used to exist. I've seen it in the movies or history books, but not today because it's not being broadcast. They don't hear about it regularly on the TV, which you do. You know, some random people of the normies, the 99%, enough of the stuff comes through the TV and they watch enough movies, they do a hooked on the wrong area, they will end up remocking this, and those are the ones that we see that get arrested. The news hits on it, and they're fine with that as well. That keeps it all, you know, in the realm of just a few people that dabble in that kind of stuff, and they get caught and they go down. So that's what I lead to believe. You know, all my research has led me to believe that as much as they got everyone else not believing, you know, and separated church, state, schools, and everything, they very much so hold true to theirs, perform rituals, sacrifices. It's just not, and the media is complicit in keeping it covered. Certain people, again, it says all compartmentalization. They didn't leave any angle unturned either in their own filth. We've seen the structure boards on how they place people, and there's a go-between guy. I mean, the very heads of owners can sway companies and organizations to, it's all about their mission. So,
you know, when you look at this kind of stuff, and this is not just in the crazy religious field, they have this locked up. This is in entertainment. They have that locked down. Political, business. I mean, every facet, medical, every facet you can possibly imagine. And one of the biggest ones they have, because it's the most touching of the masses, is religion. So at the lower levels, and it could be your secret societies, it could be your LDS, we go to church on Sunday, it could be your Catholics, it could be whatever. And the main masses, and we've both said this many times, the main masses, those of you who are asking, like, what's his, one of the viewers of your last video had asked of us, hey, what about the ancient hope? I was trying to say who one of your commenters.
We'll just say
comment.
We can say Santos.
Santos. He was asking about this, and this is, if you don't know it, a lot of this stuff you can Google. Obviously, Google's not going to really be giving. You have to kind of dig a little bit deeper on Google, just for the fact they're not going to give the #1 search, but it's out there, and if you have eyes to see, you're going to see it. And Q told us the machine is gearing up, but if you're aware, it'd be very clear of what's happening. And what we're talking about, this goes back thousands of years. And so
and the ancient hope, we can probably agree on, is basically one world order. You know, whether the NWO means Nazi world order, New World Order, but it is basically a one world order. And that's the solution they're going to have. How do we end all these wars over religion and the multiple different angles that everyone has on it now? Oh, well, we create one. How do we create the money issues? We have one. How do you create the political and government issues? We have one. That's going to be their solution, or was going to be their solution, right? So we're kind of going over things that shouldn't really be into play anymore, we hope, or have been looked at, thought about. Supposedly this is over. We're just seeing the movie portion of everything happen. So we'll see on that. But keep going. Yeah, no, we're fine on time. I just wanted to.
Well, I will say this, because I know that sometimes when we talk about this kind of stuff, you know, we talk about negative, dark things. I kind of a word of uplifting to, you know, your viewers and subscribers, that if you go read the New Testament, or the renewal covenant, if you will, the Gospels, the very last one, the Book of Revelation, it kind of tells you who's going to win on the end and what's going to happen.
It's all laid out.
It's all laid out, folks. It's almost like what Q's telling us is a movie. well, we've already kind of hyper watched the whole thing. We've read the end, and we kind of know what the ending is going to be. So as much as the evil one is going to try to do what he's going to try to do and deceive and spin and tell all these lies and let these people know that it's, oh, you can live forever, and however he wants to word it, because he's very eloquent. We know what's going to happen in the end. So I just would give a little uplifting word, because as much as you need to know the evil one's weapons and how he uses them and how to thwart them and fight against them, then you're just going to be swimming in a sea of evilness and just be like, yes, there's evil everywhere, but what am I going to do? I'm drowning in it. We're trying to throw you a little life raft out here.
Yeah. And we've talked about this before. I've said, if I can imagine, like in the movies, sometimes they've mocked, Satan. And when he talks, it sounds like kind of, slow and not very smart, not very intelligent, willing to try anything. Whether or not that's, accurate, just a mockery, whatever. They're going to try everything. They've tried everything. That's why they even have people sinning. And if you don't know, we're talking, small children beyond an age of where they don't really understand, or just even adults that really truly haven't heard some of the words. So, but once you know, then that's different. But they basically try to have you, sinning. Possibly Satan's looking at his soul counter and he's not seeing him go up any higher. And we've made the mockery of like a YouTube, subscribers. And then, maybe he's looking, somebody's like, well, Satan right here in the Bible, it says, and he gets really mad, because it's not working. But he's going to keep trying, because that's how the Bible tells you too. He's not, he's a master deceiver. And very interesting stuff, folks. I mean, my years and years of research on this have like I said, always led me back to these people. And I was the same way. My cognitive dissonance would kick in. I did a lot of this research in the movie industry, in the entertainment, the music, and then other facets, political, some of the richest elitist people that, we've heard about all these years. And it always led somehow, some shape, some way, some form to this, to these people in ancient hope. It's Satanistic, and I just couldn't understand. I was like, what the heck? But then it all makes sense if you really get it all put together. It's the only thing that makes sense. If you took that out of there, it wouldn't really be any kind of reason why they're doing it.
Yeah. Well, and how many times has Q told us this is good versus evil? This is, put on, Ephesians, put on the
not Republican,
the
Democrat, crosses all lines, all cultures, all colors and creeds. It's just evil can work, with evil. It doesn't matter who you are. Evil and good. That's all it was, folks. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. You remember some of these, I don't know. Those are like Washington, D.C., the White House area. Remember all those maps and stuff?
Oh, and that's the individual who actually engineered the District of Columbia. And that is a whole other awesome video we can definitely get into of why the District of Columbia isn't considered a state of the 50 states of the United States of America. It's a district. And you got to this. We were founded on a lot of this.
Everyone in the industry, pretty much movie, or I don't know about movie, but music. They're either promoting, the Luciferian,
the one-eyed. They got the 666 thrown up, and then they're doing.
It's like Lady Gaga's Super Bowl ritual, right?
And this is the Super Bowl, people. So how many
Stands
viewers
up on
see the
top
Super
of
Bowl?
two towers, symbolizing both September 11th and the two Masonic pillars. Jeez.
Boaz and Jacqueline, yeah.
Well, here we go,
Dark
which is in the
fans.
world of occult known as 1,000 points of light. What is that now? What is that called? The Masonic Pillars of Boaz and Jancon.
Yeah, Boaz and Joaquin, or yep, which is it's the two pillars of the temple. Who was, I forgot his name. I got a little.
Which
brain,
people
brain
resemble
fart.
fallen angels.
And the angels.
So I wanted to get into that as well, folks. The fallen angel thing. You'll hear Bush in the one video I promoted a little bit ago that had it. He talked about, angel. And if you look at the kind of stuff they are doing and what we get into, there's no way it would be an angel. It would be a fallen. They just forget to say fallen angel. You look into a lot of the music industry, which you can do the own research. There's other people that cover that 1,000,000 to the millionth degree.
Yes.
On
Of course. Yep.
We might be able to put something together, but I've seen enough, and you can see a lot of these all, pop, rap, rock. You'll hear it. You'll hear, angels, and every time I talk, it's an angel talking out of me, and it's like, but what you're saying would be of a fallen angel. It's not really, so.
And people don't really realize that it's everybody you see on TV in the music industry, because as a unique perspective in that industry, you can't get a record deal without either selling your soul or doing something really crazy. That's when you start getting at that level where you're talking about record deals, and then you're making this many, they're going to go on mainstream. And then, because you're talking, there's about 3,000 to 4,000 hours of engineering time, because that's what I used to do, is be an engineer of these people's songs just to get on the radio. So when you hear the latest, this is so-and-so single, there's thousands upon thousands of hours of engineering time and probably hundreds of different musicians that come together and all this stuff. So it's almost like these people had to do something, and they tell you all the time, I sold my soul, or what are the I sold commander in chief, and now I'm having to hold my end of the bargain, that kind of stuff. And they tell you
it's
about
time to pay up,
all these time to pay up. I went to the crossroads and sold my soul, and this is a real battle. And these people, and you talk about this, is like on the
and you can find
Hollywood
them collages,
movie
folks.
side.
Don't take our word, right? Find them like we did, and it's not just YouTube. They're out there. There's raw video. There's articles. There's multiple different platforms. But take these people's words for themselves. Sometimes, if you want to, we said it before, fall in love with them for the movie or the song, and then when they actually talk and say crazy things, what is that? Is it? Well, you could ignore. We get it, but listen to it. Take a. We'll maybe post some links down below. It's crazy, but you're correct on that. They all have to, they're promised everything for a certain amount of years, fame, money,
If you
sex,
want
drugs,
more,
rock and roll.
then there's more rituals to get to the higher level. And this is not just a music scene. You can apply this to the Hollywood, the A-lister actors. We've heard the casting couch and this and Q's already pulling out crazy pictures of actors wearing red shoes and things of this nature. So it's almost like it's so ubiquitous across
And the level.
every media. And the level, you're right, the level is so intense. If you're not even minusculely aware, you get bulldozed by this machine that is so huge.
Well,
that you don't
or
know
I was
what
going
to
to say,
do.
you can actually almost see the level of involvement within the music industry or within the movie industry. A-list actors doing a movie or two a year. They're really backed by these owners and endorsers of this whole system. Almost like they're showing up and being told, like, take the, you only have to do a movie, one movie the next 2 years, and it's going to pay $100 million, and we'll give you royalty rights, and you'll get paid 50, 60 million just for acting in it too. Oh, wow. While other actors get, a couple 100,000 or, $1 million, 1 million, and they are doing 2-3 movies a year. So that's maybe their level of involvement within their own. It's just like any other structure, you got the.
Exactly.
So we've broke all
and
this
it's-
down, folks. We've seen it. Ben's done a lot of research. I've done a lot of research. We both pointed each other to, look at things, articles, books, and I don't know.
We've even watched Ancient Aliens on the History Channel, and we would say every time they said Ancient Aliens, just put in the word fallen angels,
Exactly.
and you'd be right on cue, right on point.
It could be, exactly. As long as theirs is all, we've said that exactly, that it's probably, I just replaced it with that years ago after doing all the research, and it's, wow. No, here you go. There's a, but if you don't have the Bible in mind, or you don't believe that, because that's kind of how they pushed it down into society, then anything's possible. And the angle that they're trying to spin on that show would make sense to you, because they.
Well, and if you even take it even one step further and say, if you don't believe in the Bible and you don't believe in anything, then what is the moral value of what they're doing to children and to humans, and what's happening in this world, and the value of creating wars? The whole reason why I have my moral guidance or compass in life is because I believe that the Bible is the Word of God, right?
Natural instinct, is it?
Yes. Well, we know
Could
our
be the
natural
nurturer.
instinct. We're born sinners, in my opinion. So our natural instinct is to be evil and to war and do very evil things. And we have free wills, and
That's right.
we choose. I mean, even though we're tempted, we can choose not to be tempted. But this is a lot bigger than I can't express the gravity of what the ancient hope, what those two words, or the mystery Babylon, the ancient religions, or the mystery religions, and that encompasses so much that it's hard to cover everything. I mean, this is such a tip of the iceberg, because you could spend years in the Hollywood. I mean, Hollywood, where did that come from? Hollywood was the wood they used to make wands out of witches and warlocks. I mean, you can go on and on. I mean, the holidays. I mean, there's so much symbology on everything, and pick your rabbit hole and dive down, because it gets super deep. But it all, like Mike was saying, it all is going to spiderweb back to the main source, and that's really a Luciferianistic belief system that Lucifer is their god.
Nice. Yeah. No, that's very, very nice. All right. We are at the 37-minute mark, so we're going to shut this one down, folks. This has been a great episode. I guess I do love getting this information out to you guys, but more so, it's great to talk about things that we know, to share it with you guys, to help you, any angle. So that comment the other day sparked something Saturday afternoon. I don't know, maybe I was out and about, keeping an eye on my device, and I saw the guy, what is he talking about? Ancient Hope. Anybody know? And started talking to Ben about it, and I have to put something together. So here it was. Probably going to do some more on it. Any closing thoughts on just gifs of everything? And
I think we did pretty well in the covering of it. I mean, anything more, again, don't believe what we say. Do your own research. If we've said something tonight that interests you, go peek on there. If you've got something to correct anything, leave comments below for sure. We do read your comments, and we do, adjust accordingly if they're kind, and because we're all just people there. So everyone be kind to one another in the comments, because they are real people. And we did it really well tonight, I would say.
I agree, folks. All right, that was Ben. We always glad to have him here in the when he can join us. He brings great insight and lots of knowledge, folks. Lots of knowledge. And again, like he said, don't take our word. Do your own research. Get all your own facts. Connect all your own dots. That's going to be the best. That's how you do the research. You gotta connect all the dots, get all the facts, and read everything you can, watch everything you can, believe none of it until you can verify it. All right, that's what we promote here at the Patriot Hour: freedom, liberties, keeping them, and thinking for yourself. All right. God bless, Godspeed each and every one of you worldwide. Until we see you back here for the next Patriot Hour, you guys have a great evening, and keep promoting freedoms and fight for your liberty. Don't give nothing up.